Hey everybody, welcome back to the Haven Family Farm. Today, what we're going to attempt to do is take the Cub sort of from summer mode to winter mode. So behind me here is my 1950 Farmall Cub. You can see it has a 60-inch international belly mower on it, finish mower, grass mower, whatever you want to call it. And over here, besides the wheel weights, which we're not going to get on today, we have our grader dozer blade and all the pieces that go with that. So I've never put this on before, so we got to get that figured out. And because I've recently purchased this tractor, if you're new to the channel, I've never taken that off before either. I don't even know how that's going to come out of there. There's okay, battery died. So as I was saying, there's some long brackets that go way back underneath the tractor. The deck is pretty wide. And then on this side, it's even wider. So I'm not sure how we're supposed to get this thing out of here, being that those brackets go all the way to the back. If they weren't so long, you could just kind of shove the thing out the side. But it's going to be a bit of an experiment to figure this out. So stay tuned with us as we figure this out and we try and get the plow blade on. And also, I have a secret tip to share with you guys that will make snow plowing with a Cub much easier. All right, so attempt number one is going to be unhook everything and then see if we can slide, kind of pull the mower deck out this way, maybe turn the wheel that way, get a little more space, and see if we can bring the mower deck out this way. So we'll get busy unbolting and undoing everything and we'll go from there. Belt is off. Okay, we got that out. So everything now is disconnected from the tractor. The bolts in the back, the chain lift, the belt, everything's good to go. It's just a matter of the geometry. And of course, the thing isn't that light, but trying to get the thing out of there. So here we go, let's have some fun. All right, so we're trying this approach. We jacked up this side of the tractor, kind of sketchy. Hopefully it doesn't fall, but we're gonna try and take those two angle iron brackets back there and swing them out from underneath that way. So that's the plan for now. Okay, so we got that out from underneath there. That worked out pretty well. Let's put the tractor back on the ground here so it doesn't fall off the jack. Had I known we were going to do it this way, I would have positioned the tractor differently in the garage. But it is what it is, so we're making the best of it now. More. Okay, and then can we just pull it straight back? Oh, and we're going to knock the viewers off the All right, so we got the shop rearranged here a bit, stuff moved, got the mower deck off. We dragged that blade over on the cardboard because it was, it's kind of heavy and it's hard and awkward with the pallets of stuff, or the pallet with the stuff on it over there. So we've got the cardboard, we got the blade semi-lined up here where it's gonna go. We got our other pieces here ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Putting these various pieces on and seeing if we can get this thing hooked up and ready to go. All right, so we're working on laying out these pieces and realized that there's supposed to be some kind of spacer piece that goes in here because there's a bolt that goes through the center here. These guys come up on each side and then there's holes here and you would kind of clamp that piece in there. I think they're just two short pieces or something. The manual for the blade talks about them, but it doesn't show what they look like. So unfortunately, when I took this blade off the other tractor, I think those were on there. I didn't know any better, so I didn't take them. So we're in the process now here of, we got a piece of square tube and that's still warm. We just cut those out and we got to cut those into two pieces with the holes, and we're going to take those two tabs and weld one on each end, and we're going to make kind of a spacer for ourselves, and then that long bolt will go through there. So it won't obviously be factory, but it's better than not having them at all, because you really can't run. Here's the big bolt I was talking about. You really can't run this plow without it because this thing just, you know, flop around in there. So that's what we're working on right now. All right, here's our homemade piece. I didn't paint it. The piece of steel I used had some primer on it, but the end here I didn't yet. I want to make sure everything works like it's supposed to. So we'll kind of get that shoved in there, and that'll hopefully now. The hole I drilled was a little bit bigger than this bolt, but it was the closest hole saw I had to do that. So I think now we can go ahead and that should fit. That'll fit right in there, and we'll be able to go ahead and continue on here. We'll get one. Okay, so you gotta pick that up. Okay, now hang on, because this thing has to go inside of there. We almost got the bolt in. You see, just twist it up. It doesn't want to come. Oh, there it goes. Perfect. Washer, lock, washer, and nut. So the next step in this process here, I've seen it done different ways. So you got this guy here that people mount up here like that. And then I've seen this piece here swing up and mount up to this hole up here. But the manual that I have for this blade, I got a reprint of a manual. It actually shows this hooking to that hole. So I guess we're gonna try that and see how it works. We're gonna bring it down to there. The tractor I got it off of had this little boomerang piece in it, but the manual shows it going to that hole. So we'll try it like that and just see what happens, for better or worse. I don't know. Well, but that's how we're gonna try and do it. What we need to do is see these holes? Mm-hmm. They need to come up to here, and then the pin goes through. All right? Okay. Oh, I think the plow is off. I think they go to the outside of that. All right. A little more, I think, right? A little bit. There you go. Okay. All right, so one of the last steps here in the procedure would be there's a hole there and your hole here. You'd slide that in there, put your pin in, and what that would do is hook everything up, but it would allow you to put down pressure on the plow, so there's not really any way to float the blade. So if you have a gravel driveway, or you're plowing on top of some grass or something, and you don't want to have down pressure on it or be sitting there trying to figure out what the correct amount of down pressure is, I found this guy. This, I believe, is a factory piece. It is a clevis. I forget the exact terminology, what they call it, but a clevis link or something. But basically, I call it a float link. So what happens is you put this piece in here. It's a little bit of a tight fit on ours because I think these top pieces are bent. And then you bring this guy and you put him inside of here, and that allows for flexibility. And it's not a lot of float, but it will let it float some. So we're gonna bend these out just a little bit. We'll get this guy fit in there and get it put together, and we got a couple bolts to tighten, and that'll be that. All right, there you have it. We'll go over real quick what we did here. So we ended up, I call this guy a boomerang here. We ended up having to put that on because of putting this front clevis piece on. If we didn't have this clevis here to help the blade float, we could have probably just gone and hooked into here. That's where I had it the first time. But the geometry didn't lift the blade up at all. I don't think it was at all. So we ended up putting that on. A lot of these pieces here, there's some slop. So you can see like there's some washers here and there, just kind of taking up some of the slop. What I was trying to avoid was there's barely any clearance here. So I'm trying to keep this from hitting that. And then same thing right here. If this gets floppy, which it was before, it'll hit here. Like everything is close tolerances. So we put some washers in here and there to make sure everything was tight. So now you can see here that it's still not lifted up tremendously high off the ground. I think we got about 5-6 inches there. So one other thing that I had to do was come over here, and there's these adjustment holes on the side. And we had to adjust the blade up. It was all the way, where was it? Up here or up? I don't remember now. But it was down really low. And it would have been okay, again, if we hadn't put this clevis in. But I want the blade to be able to float over the ground. So we had to adjust those. So I'll have to fidget with that yet a little bit and see. But we have some decent lift now. So I think we have everything on here now, finally. If you aren't familiar with these snow plows, which I'm not, I'm still learning, I noticed that this one has, I think it was an optional extension for the blade. You can kind of see right here how there's this other piece bolted on. This would have been the height of the original blade. And it's not really that tall. I mean, this adds a decent amount of height on there. Oops, sorry. This adds a decent amount of height on there. So if you're getting a plow for one of these, you probably want an extension, or you could just make one. Just some simple steel and drill some holes in it. So there you go. That's the long drawn out process. I don't think I missed anything here. So you're going to want to subscribe to the channel, because we're going to take this thing plowing some snow with no brakes, or minimal brakes really. So at least we have the snow plow we can drop to help stop us. But the other thing in the future, what we're going to do right now to angle this, you pull that pin and you can swing the blade one way or the other. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put a hydraulic angle on the front of this plow. So stay tuned for that. Hit the bell icon so you're notified when those videos post. It's going to be pretty interesting. So thanks for watching, everybody. Like I said, please don't forget to hit the subscribe, the bell icon, and if you wouldn't mind a thumbs up on your way out the door, I'd greatly appreciate it. I hope to see everybody all in the next video.